Everybody, 1, 2, switch! It's time to do the sequel that no one asked for the game that nobody liked. Let's do it! It's well known that I love full motion video games. I do try to do 1 or 2 of these types of games every year. Technically, this is one of those types of games. It's loaded with real people playing the game for your amusement. And I'm gonna say it's the best thing in this title. They're goofy and they're way overacting, but I appreciate the way they're trying to make the game fun. And with a few fixes, this actually could be better. But overall, it feels like something that I might be reviewing from an unknown third party. And it's baffling that this is coming from Nintendo. This is just a minigame collection where you're forced to at least use 2 players. There are no bots to play against, and to be fair though, some of the games wouldn't really work with a computer, but how about coming up with different ones? I'm sorry, not everyone has someone to play with. I basically had to play against myself, since nobody wanted to play this with me. You can play with the Joy-Cons or with your smartphone. It supports up to 8 people in Joy-Con mode, or 100 people if you use a smartphone. Now here's the first problem, and it lies with the smartphone controls. You can't do a mix of Joy-Con and smartphone, so it's one or the other. And I only had one phone, so I couldn't test this. Why can't I just use the Joy-Cons as well? Then at least I could cheat it and see what the bingo game is like, and be able to review the overall controls with your phone. But this review is only going to talk about the games I could actually play with the Joy-Con. Sorry. Now, there are really only 3 modes in this. A party mode, the bingo that I mentioned before, that I actually can't test, and the stupidest quiz show I've ever played. Because the setup is that you're only allowed to answer true or false questions. And the questions are insultingly easy, like, what do you use your eyes to do? And then they give you the answer of, to see, true or false. I wish this was an outlier, but 90% of the questions feel like a quiz that you might see in a highlights magazine. You can't make up quizzes for your friends, and that's the only way I can see this isn't a completely throwaway mode. And they also let you do something with your smartphone in the quiz mode, but again, I couldn't test it. The whole party mode is hosted by what I thought was a man in a horse head mask, until he ate a carrot. Then I realized the horror. No, it's a half horse, half man. Why, Nintendo? Did you really think we'd find this crime against nature cute or fun? It's horrifying! Every time he came up, it just strengthened my thoughts that no one tested this game. Because I can't believe anybody would ever have a note saying, I like that horsehead guy, he's cool. In the party mode, you're going to spin a wheel to pick your game, which was fine, but the amount of times it landed on games I've already played was very frustrating. I wish you could actually select which games you want to play in your party, and maybe spin from your selected games. That would make things better. You will then see real people pretending to have fun playing these games. And to be fair, some of the games are enjoyable once, mainly because of their good production value. The games themselves had potential, but they were too simple. However, it would be forgivable if not for one thing. You can't skip anything in the actual game. If it's your first or 100th time playing, every single time you do it, they'll drag you through a very slow tutorial. And there's no way to skip it. You can actually skip the intro with all the live people playing the game, but not the tutorials of something you've already played before. Everything is done so slowly, and even though the production values may be good, the gameplay moving in a glacier pace breaks any goodwill I might have with this title. After you beat one of the modes, they might give you a more advanced version of the game, where they just make it longer, and they might throw that as another game that you need to pick from. I really hated this. I didn't want to play the game again, I wanted to try something new. If you want to unlock it for another party, that would be fine, but playing like Ninja and Ninja 2 back to back was very frustrating. Everyone 1-2 Switch isn't very good. It has so many problems. All joking aside, I'm sure they must have playtested this, and there's no way they didn't see these problems. It just means they didn't want to fix these problems, or they didn't care to. There really isn't any reason to play this. They already have good party games to pull out when you have guests, like Mario Party. There isn't much here to enjoy. I see they tried with the visual presentation, but the problem was with the gameplay itself. So you should just skip this game.